Hello everybody, welcome to Math Mastery. My name is Tanvi and today I am going to continue with the exercise of chapter 2 of statistics book of class 11th. The title of the chapter is collection of data and the questions that I will be discussing are question number 2, 3, 4, 6, 8 and 9 of the exercise. Question number 2. Frame 5 two-way questions. So what are two-way questions? Questions which have only two possible answers, yes or no. So what are the examples of two-way questions? Example, are you married? Do you have children? Do you own a car? Do you have a pet? Do you own a house? All of these have only two possible answers, yes or no. Question number 3. State whether the following statements are true or false. First statement, there are many sources of data. This statement is false because there are only two sources of data, which is primary and secondary source of data. So primary data source means where the enumerator is directly collecting the data from the respondent, and secondary data is data through government reports, official documents, publications, etc. Question number 2. Sorry, second question. Telephone survey is the most suitable method of collecting data when the population is literate and spread over a large area. This statement is false because in telephone survey we can also survey individuals who are not literate. Okay, because what a surveyor or enumerator has to do, he has to read out the questions for the respondent to answer. So therefore that can be done even with the people who are illiterate. So telephone survey is not the most suitable data for for the population which is literate. Third, data collected by investigator is called the secondary data. This statement is false because data collected by the investigator is primary data, as I have already mentioned. There is a certain bias involved in the non-random selection of samples. This statement is true because in case of non-random selection of samples, it depends upon the interviewer, his or her wisdom, how to collect the sample based on his or her information about the research objective and the publications and the research papers which he or she has read. Based on his or her knowledge, he or she collects the sample. So there is a very high probability of bias involved in case of non-random selection of sample which is done by the investigator. So therefore this statement is true. Non-sampling errors can be minimized by taking large samples. This statement is false because non-sampling errors basically means errors such as non-response by the individuals, or error on the part of enumerator in collection of data. So these errors cannot be minimized by taking large samples. So this statement is false. Question number 4. What do you think about the following questions? Do you find any problem with these questions? Describe. So I am reading out the question. Question number 1. How far do you live from the closest market? So this statement is ambiguous and not precise. The better way to answer this question is to ask this question is, how far is the market from your home? That will be a more precise and clear way. And then the possible options can be 1 kilometer, more than or more than 1 kilometer but less than 2 kilometer, more than 2 kilometers, or even more than more than 3 kilometers, etc. So these can be the possible options. If plastic bags are only 5% of our garbage, should it be banned? This is also ambiguous and not precise. The other way of asking the same question is, should plastic bags be banned or not? Okay, so the third question, wouldn't you be opposed to increase in price of petrol? So you see this question involves double negative. Wouldn't you be opposed? So a better way of asking is rise in price of petrol justified? Yes or no? So that will be a better way to ask the question in a questionnaire. Next statement, do you agree with the use of chemical fertilizers? Now this question is a close-ended question. The other way or the better way of asking this is can be an open-ended way, because in that case you can know the view of the respondent. What are your views on the use of chemical fertilizers? Okay, so because it can have possible options that it depends upon the alternative available and it depends upon the cost of the alternative available. So closed-ended questions restricts the personal views. Next question, do you use fertilizers in your fields? This is a question which is not general, because it is important to know whether a person owns a field or not. So it should be, for first the question should be whether you own a field, yes or no. And if yes, then do you use fertilizers in your field? That will be a better way of asking. What is the yield per hectare in your field? Now you see, it is also like very much maths is involved and it is too calculative. You can simply ask that is your field productive or not, right? So that will be a more easy way for a general person to answer. The next question is question number 6. In a village of 200 farms, a study was conducted to find the cropping pattern. Out of the 50 farms surveyed, 50% grew only wheat. What is the population and sample size? So you see here that the total population is the population of the total number of farms in a village, which is 200, and out of these 200, 50 farms are selected. So 50 is the sample farm. So 50 is the sample. The next question is, which of the following methods give better results and why? Census, B sample. So the answer, so first of all, census is a way of collection of data in which every unit of the population is surveyed. Whereas in case of sample, a part of the population is surveyed. So therefore, sample is a better way of, is a better method to get results. Why? Because first and the foremost, that sample is it is time and cost saving, because it is a representative a unit out of the population and not the entire population. So it is obviously it will save time, and it will save cost as well. Detailed information can be collected by intensive surveys. So since the sample is a part of the population, so the detailed information can be collected by using a questionnaire or some other method uh, uh, to collect the to get the information. Reasonably accurate, reasonably accurate in because if sample is chosen in a right way, such that it is a right representation of the population, then it will give almost reasonably accurate results. So if that is possible, then there is no need to do intensive surveys, because time and cost are very important aspects for a researcher in order to get results. So therefore sample is better over census to get results. Which of the following errors is more serious and why? Sampling error, non-sampling error. So as I have already told, that sampling error basically means the difference between the population parameter and sample estimate. So that difference is the error. So that error can be reduced by taking a larger sample size. So however, what is non-sampling error? Non-sampling error is the error such as error in the data acquisition or error in non-response. So non-response error when the respondent is not available to answer. So those kind of problems cannot be solved. So therefore these errors cannot be reduced. So that is why non-sampling errors are a more serious problem as compared to sampling errors. So with this, I have covered all the important questions of chapter 2 of statistics, and I will continue with another chapter, chapter 3rd, in the next slide. Thank you.